Sean bienvenidas y bienvenidos a una nueva edición de Entrevistas Metal Index. Súper contento estoy por varias razones. Una muy importante, señores, sobre todo para los que llevan el histórico de entrevistas de Metal Index. Esta va a ser mi primera entrevista en inglés y les voy a pedir un poquito de paciencia. No soy muy bueno hablando el inglés, pero bueno, allí de verdad que me voy a defender como Dios manda. Así que, sobre todo porque va a ser una interesante charla con un artista muy importante. Para mí, uno de los mejores, incluso coincido con Washington, para mí uno de los mejores bajistas, sobre todo de la actualidad, de lo que es el death metal, del metal progresivo, el death metal técnico. Y de verdad para mí es un gran honor. Please welcome back to my friend Linus Klausenitzer to Metal Index, man. Thank you very much. How are you, man?
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure as always, and yeah, I'm doing very fine. I just had an amazing summer behind me with a lot of festivals, great big shows, and now I have my own solo record coming up and an Alkaloid record coming up, so it's an exciting time for me.
Yeah, well, primero déjenme invitarlos a todos, señores, a seguir las redes sociales de Linus Klausenitzer. Okay. Aquí en la descripción del contenido les estoy dejando todos los enlaces de sus redes sociales para que puedan seguir la actualidad de este maestro, the great master of the bass, like my friend Linus is amazing, all the work that he make. Por supuesto, también, amigos, invitarlos que si es primera vez que ven contenido de nuestro canal de Metal Index, a suscribirse para que no se pierdan absolutamente nada y seguirnos en todas nuestras redes sociales, en Facebook, Instagram y Twitter, para que estén actualizados del contenido que hacemos para todos ustedes. You asked to learn some phrases in Spanish, my friend?
Oh, this is the embarrassing moment for me. I'm really not good talking Spanish. My girlfriend is from Argentina,
yeah,
so
yeah.
It's very embarrassing when I meet the family, and I have a very stressful life. So yeah, it's on my top priority list to learn Spanish since 7 years.
But kind of,
but I'm really horrible.
What kind of phrases do you learn in this time? Because the past year you say the same.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I made any progress from that point on. But yeah, I can say very stupid things actually, like "Vos sos el cocodrilo," for example. I can say that.
Yeah. In an Argentina dialect, of course, the boss.
Yeah, that's it is the boss.
Boss, yeah, of
see,
you.
See.
Yeah. The 2003, of course, a great year. Tell me about the experience in your performance on the Wacken opener, because, of course, it's a great opportunity for you, because it's the first time that you played in the main stage. Tell me about the little difference that you feel playing the past year with the Spirit and in this year with Beyond the Black in the Wacken opener.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I'm 38 years old now, and I am from Germany, so Wacken Open Air has always been, like, since I was a teenager, has been a thing. But when I went to Wacken the first time, I was 17 years old, and it was in 2002, and it was sold out with 30,000 people. So it was way smaller than it is now, but even though it had a huge impact on me, like, you know, I don't know how it is in Mexico. I think in Mexico people are more open-minded and have a more, how do you say, like the spirit is more free. In Germany we have a lot of conservative people that all, like, I don't know, some people make fun of them of being robots, and yeah. So when I grew up, I had all this conservatory area, an environment that I lived in, that where it was really unusual to be a metalhead. I went to a school of 1,000 people, and there were like 3 metalheads in the whole school, maybe. So it was an amazing feeling for me to come to Wacken, and suddenly there are metalheads everywhere, and it was mind-changing for me. And I saw amazing concerts. I remember seeing Bruce Dickinson with his solo project playing live, and and this is the moment that I had in mind when I was playing the main stage this year with Beyond the Black. I was on stage and trying to imagine that little 17-year-old Linus standing in the crowd, and like trying to relive that feeling of that I had back then. So I tried to play for that little Linus, and I knew what it meant to be back then. So I tried to recreate that for, I don't know, the other 17
watching you on the other side
of people now. Exactly. Wow. Yeah. So I was very, I don't know, it was very, how do you say, like grounding to stand up there and to think, okay, like, it's really it's an absolute honor to stand there. Yeah, and I mean I played actually bigger festivals already with Beyond the Black, but yeah, the atmosphere and the fact that I've been there as a 17-year-old already is, well, yeah, made it very magical for me.
And of course, the Wacken Opener is not just a festival; it's maybe the most important metal festival around the world. It's a great dream for any metalhead in everywhere to, you know, to be here. It's amazing, man. And
yeah, I actually always wonder that people say it's the biggest metal festival, but I don't think so. I think that Hellfest is bigger,
but and of importance, maybe the Wacken.
Yeah, it's hard for me to judge because I'm not objective in that sense.
Okay.
For me, it is because I went there as a 17-year-old. But yeah, and what is Rock in Rio? Is that a metal festival? It's more like a rock festival in general, right? Because that is, of course, even that's way bigger than metal, than Hellfest, even, right?
Yeah, I'd read a lot of styles of genre came to hear in that festival. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not a pure metal festival. That's true. You see Guns N' Roses and bands like that. That won't happen on Wacken. That's true. I think in the whole Latin America, it's like, or in whole America, it's like the mindset is more open. And in Germany, it's like you're a fan of this or you're a fan of that. Like, yeah. And tech death, for example, is also a genre that's really not common on metal festivals. It's hard to see bands with Obscura. I never played in Wacken. Like we had sometimes.
It's weird that situation, no?
It's very weird. We had there was Metal Hammer, the biggest metal magazine in Germany, and we had the album of the month with Diluvium, but we didn't play in Wacken. It was a weird feeling. But it has to do with booking agencies and interests of people in different genres, and Tech Death is not a typical festival kind of music.
Bueno, amigos, ¿qué les ha parecido hasta el momento lo que llevamos de charla? ¿Qué les ha parecido? ¿Qué tal les ha parecido las anécdotas de Linus? Dejar ahí los comentarios, darle like al video si les está gustando y por supuesto recordar suscribirse para que no se pierdan absolutamente nada. And now I want to start this interview a part of course of your experience in the Wacken Opener. I want to talk about a little of Alkaloid.
Okay.
Well, man, we are waiting 5 long years for new music of Alkaloid, and you had to release 3 songs, and named Clusterfuck, The Cambrian Explosion, and Numen was the last single that you released for the upcoming album, Numen. Tell me first, what you feel musically talking about. What you feel what's the difference, more notable difference between Liquid Anatomy and this new upcoming album, Numen?
Yeah. Well, first of all, to everybody who's listening and who is interested in Alkaloid, thanks for waiting those 5 years and still being interested. That's really great. You know, in social media times, everything is so fast, and it's great to see that this band is still relevant after 5 years. It doesn't seem that it was a big negative factor for us, actually. But everybody was busy with different things, and we just couldn't make it earlier. And I hope we can speed up the process. In the future, Morian, who is the singer of Alkaloid, he's always very busy, and he used to be also the singer for Dark Fortress. And Dark Fortress split up in April. They made their farewell tour, and so I hope he has more time as well, and we can, I don't know, find an earlier moment to make the next record. Also, of course, COVID was a huge factor that slowed everything down and caused trouble to all the calendars of everyone. But yeah, talking about the record. So musically, I find the new record more. I would say it's a little bit darker. It is a little bit more heavy, I find, and a little bit more odd, I find. Like if you listen to the Cambrian explosions, there are some surprise moments. Yeah. You have like a jazz part, and
the
then
acoustic
right
guitars, bro. The acoustic guitars,
yeah, there's a flamenco part from Marian. He's used to study flamenco guitar. He's very skilled in the topic, and we were always like, bringing more of that. What, maybe you can do it in this song. Yeah. So and I think yeah, those are the big factors that changed. It's a little bit more wild, so to say. Yeah, and a little bit less of that 70s influences, I would say, that we had on the previous two records. Yeah, but I'm very curious what people will say. It's I always know that people have a very different impression of a record when they hear it, and yeah, it will be released soon, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm very excited to listen the entire album. By the way, I love it so much. The Liquid Anatomy is a great album, and I think that the Alkaloid is one of the most complex band of the extreme metal around the world. It's very difficult for you, or well, you of course you are a professional bass player and you are a great musician, but it's a challenge. You feel it's a challenge to compose with this band, and all the textures, all genres, all the styles that you can support in this band.
Absolutely, it is always a challenge, but I think that on Alkaloid everybody has really a lot of space to do what they want. You don't have a lot of restrictions. It's not that somebody says, okay, the bass has to do this and the bass has to do that. I have a lot of freedom to do. Where I can write my bass lines on, and I think that's what makes the band sound unique, in my opinion at least, because it has this factor of there is this certain musical atmosphere that everybody feels, and everybody feels a little bit different, and this is like how it gets from the demo to how it sounds in the end, because everybody brings themselves in, and I find the musicians in Alkaloid have a lot of own musical character that they can bring in, and that's what feels very good musically, I find. Songwriting wise, also a lot of things changed now, because Danny Tunker, our second guitarist, left the band because of personal reasons. We are still doing very fine. Danny actually wrote a majority of Cambrian Explosion, and it's so that of course also changed the sound a little bit. And for the very first time, now that I'm not in Obscura anymore, I had the time to write an Alkaloid song too, because before I always said, hey, there are so many songwriters in that band, I'm so busy writing for Obscura, I can't contribute anything. And that changed now, and so it's the first time there is a song where I contributed a lot of parts also on the new record. So yeah, that's also something new.
Oh, excellent, bro, excellent. Well, I want to talk about of a great thing of this interview, a big thing in this interview, a big topic of this interview, like your project, your debut album, your debut project with Tulpa. It's a few months ago you made the names of the cover art, the artwork, of course, the track leads, the label, of course, AOP Records, trusting you to make the distribution of this great album. But this album is inspired in a German book. You tell me that when you draw me for a little work that we make for your project, a lyric video. This book is called Die Sphinx, right? Of
Die Sphinx, yeah, it's German, yeah.
Okay, Die Sphinx of 1873. Why you need, you know, to create this album Tulpa around precisely of the history of this book?
Well, first of all, the lyric video turned out so amazing, and I can't thank you enough for participating on that. It's really, I don't know if it will be out yet when this video is out, but it turned out amazing. I'm so glad for
thank you.
Your support. Thank you so much. Really, I'm amazed, and it fits very well to the song. It's really very happy about that. Yeah, about that book. So I have to admit that I'm not a very lyrical focused person. So when I listen to music, I rarely read about the lyrics. I have to be open about that. That's not what makes me a music fan. It's mostly about the music for me. I know for some people it's very important. For me, not so much, but still, of course, I wanted to give it an importance on my record so I can stand behind it. And so I thought, okay, what are the records that actually moved me from that had lyrics that fit to the overall concept with the artwork and everything that really had an impact on me. And I could count on one hand how many records did that job well. And I remember that when I was young, I mentioned him before, Bruce Dickinson, who everybody knows, but his solo project is, people know it, but for me it's, I don't know, it's very special. And The Chemical Wedding back then, I came out in '98, I bought it I think a couple of years later anyway, but this book is about alchemy, and it has and it has the images of alchemy, the artwork, and the lyrics. How that grows together. It was really cool for me, and I enjoyed the lyrics. So I thought, okay, that whole alchemy topic and that mix of science and magic is something that I would like to get my head into a little bit more. So I just Googled and Googled for different topics for alchemists and for different topics in that time, and that's when I read about this book for the very first time, and it just was like a couple of lines, and then I came up with I read that in this book, the Sphinx, an alchemist, like an Austrian lord, went to an alchemist in Italy, and they have created 10 little creatures, and I thought that sounds perfect from a record. I could
10 songs,
make a song for every creature, and that is for sure. So I don't know. I just was excited about it and felt that okay, that could inspire me writing songs also, and that's when I dived into the topic. And fortunately, the whole book is online on a digital museum website of Munich. So I went there and read the whole book, and it was really a different experience for me to read a book from that time, and to write down what I could use for the lyrics. For some creatures there was very few content, so I used the little content that there was and put it in different contexts. The Sword Swallower, for example, is a song on my record that is about the knight, that is the character, but there is a lot about this character, so I wrote about alcoholism and compare it with a sword swallower who also has the thrill of what he does, and it's like this mix of danger and joy and risk and excitement. So that's how how this whole album came together, and it really was inspiring for me as well, because I had a couple of ideas already for the record, but it shaped more and more when I thought, okay, this character should be this song, this character should be this song, and then I had songs not written at all and had only 2 or 3 riffs, and then I thought, okay, let's see how I can make, how I can put the storyline that I have in my head how I can write the song so the storyline fits to the song. And that's what happened. For example, in The Queen of Hearts, there is a story where there is, I have to say, there is a king and a queen, and those are 2 characters of the story. and those 10 creatures all live in a small jar, in a glass of different substances in a liquid. They otherwise they cannot survive, and they're like, I don't know, that size tall, and when they leave the jar, they would die pretty fast. But the king and the queen live in separate jars, but they want to be together and have a strong love. So at one day, the king decides to be free and gets out of his jar and wants to go to the jar of the queen. But in that moment, a servant of the Lord comes in and tries to catch him, and I try to adapt that to the song, that the part gets faster and faster when that happens, and then you have that moment where he's catched and the king almost dies because he's so long out of the water, and then you have a part where the music is very dramatic, and then it slows down and you hear like a imitation of a heartbeat, and then it comes an uplifting riff where the queen realizes, oh, the king is still alive. Yeah, and this was really a different approach for writing music for me, to really have that concept and to write into that lyrical concept.
Oof, man, excellent. It's a great resume of the history about this excellent album. Estén atentos, amigos, a las redes sociales de Linus, estén atentos al lanzamiento, por supuesto, de lo que será esta nueva producción, esta producción debut en realidad de Linus Klausenitzer. Recuerden, amigos, si es primera vez que están viendo contenido en nuestro canal, a suscribirse para que por supuesto no se pierdan absolutamente nada. Linus, man, how you feel, man, in this interview?
Very good. How do you feel making your first English interview?
A little nervous because it's my first interview in English, but well, I know I feel very comfort with you, man, talking about all of this stuff, talking about metal, talking about Alkaloid, and of course your solo project is amazing, man. And for me, it's a dream come true. It's for me it's really nice. I want to asking you, man, about I read a lot of musicians, very important, collaborate with you in this album. I want to asking you, what you consider the most important value of every musician in this album, Tulpa?
Yeah. I wrote all these songs to digitally, and then I made a pre-production that was very close to the end result already. I even made a pre-production with, what do you call it, like with a fake singer. So it's like I had the rhythmical parts like like I had a plugin that is simulated death metal vocals, and so that I wrote all that down, and I adapted the rhythms to the lyrics, so everything fits well, and I can really have a concrete image how the guest musicians should work on it. And I have more or less like a band lineup on the album, which consists of Hannes Grossmann, which is also the producer of the record, and he mixed and mastered the record. He's the drummer of Triptychon and Alkaloid, and he used to play with me in Obscura, and he used to be in Necrophagus. That's another band people might know, and he's a very close friend of mine. We both live in the same town. He has a studio here in Nuremberg, where I live here in Bavaria, so that made a lot of sense. I love his drumming, and he has a very own sound when he plays drums, and that's something I appreciate a lot. I wanted to have his drum sound on that album. I find it fits very well, and I showed him the music and he liked it, and yeah, so we worked together on the record. Before I started recording, before he started recording, we sat together, went through all the songs, discussed all the parts, and he had like 2 or 3 ideas of what I could change, and I was very happy about this producer role. And yeah, then I reached out to Canadian guitarist, which is Aaron Huma. He plays in Annihilator and some different tech death contexts also. And this mix of having a a thrash metal guitarist who is also a tech death person fits very well, because the music on my solo record is not a tech death record. It is more a mix of different genres that I listened to or still do. It's like there's a lot of melodic death in there. There's a lot of thrash metal in there. Yeah, so I like that mix of having somebody who's a metalhead, but he comes from a comparable background. And I met Aaron a couple of times on the road, and I knew he was a nice guy, so I asked him, and he recorded all the acoustic guitars and some other guitar parts, but the majority of the guitar parts Ian Way recorded. And he was a recommendation from Christian Münzner, a good friend of mine also, and the Alkaloid guitarist. And I wanted to work also here and there with other musicians, because with Christian Münzner I play on so many records, with Hannes I play on so many records, so I thought, okay, it would be good to have some fresh blood. And Ian is a killer guitarist. He plays for Surreption right now.
Maybe one of the most important technical death metal bands in Europe right now.
Surreption? Yeah, it's really cool, and he can play great solos. He plays I don't know, 3 or 4 solos on the record. Yeah, and then I was thinking about the whole solo section, and I thought, okay, it would be nice to have different guest guitarists on the record.
Different textures.
I met so many people. Yes, I met so many people through the years on the road that I thought it would be great to have I don't know, that influence also on my record, to have getting different sounds here and there, and to get their interpretations of the songs. And I'm really a big guitar solo lover. I love that when the peak of the song comes and you have that I don't know, a wild guitar solo, a very melodic guitar solo. I enjoy those very, very much. So I'm very happy that I have so many diverse sounding guitar solos on that album. And the singer on the record is Javi Pereira, who's also the singer of my other band, Obsidious. And yes, one of the most versatile singers I've ever met. Yeah, perfect choice.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I think is important is the trust of this label, AOP Records. Let me, how you create this, this alliance to make the distribution of your album. For you, obviously, is the first work, and you need people that can to help you to make a great diffusion of this album, Tulpa.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the idea when you make a record is to get it out to as many people as you can, so your music is heard. And it's hard to do it if you release a record just on your own, because the only thing you can do is like putting a lot of money into ads and to reach out to your own group of people that you have access to in your your followers on social media and newsletters, subscribers and things like that. So I knew my possibilities would be limited, even though I actually planned to do a crowdfunding campaign or to make something on I don't know, different platforms, Bandcamp, whatever. But I realized that I will have a busy 2023, and I thought a partner would be really, really good. And all the labels I worked so far with wouldn't make sense, because they mostly work with touring artists, or I don't know. I didn't see myself, all the constellation didn't make sense for me that they would release a solo record of me. So I don't even know how I came up with that idea. Maybe through the Spirit, because the Spirit, where I play session bass for, I play live shows with them, and I do a tour with them in April, and probably I shared my thoughts with them, and they gave me the idea of contacting Sven, which is the boss of AOP Records, and I just sent him a brief email just asking, hey, this is my music, here you can have a listen to the demos. Was at some point last year, and December I wrote to him, I think. So I asked him, hey, this is the music, I don't know, the kind of music you normally release, because it's mostly post-black metal what they release, like Harakiri for the Sky, The Spirit, stuff like that. And so I didn't know would make sense for him, but he really liked the record, and he listened to it a lot, and he said he wants to do it, yes or yes. And that made me very happy, because I had somebody who believed in my music, and he really puts a lot of effort in supporting me. I mean, the money possibilities with a solo record are not immense, but still he puts a lot of energy and thought process into promoting the record and bringing it out to people. I have a lot of email contact with him, and phone calls and WhatsApp messages going back and forth. So it's like really feels like a partner, and that's how a label should feel. That you work on a goal together, and yeah, I'm very happy that they decided to release that record. Yeah, even though I couldn't give them any promises about the future, I said, look, I don't know if I'll make another solo record. Depends on how successful it will be. Probably I won't tour with it, because I tour a lot with other stuff, and I don't think like a solo record would be the typical music to tour with. So yeah. But still, they said, okay, we see potential there. Still, let's see. Yeah.
Excellent. What? Tell me about the repercussion of the songs that you are releasing. You feel happy for the receptions of these songs that you are releasing?
Extremely. I mean, it's really hard to get a solo record out to people, and like to just to reach people. So it's first of all amazing to see that so many people really have an interest in what I'm doing. That is already amazing. And it's, like I said, not that I made like Obscura 2 or Beyond the Black 2 or other stuff that I did in my past, or Alkaloid 2 or whatever. It's something, for me, it stands on its own, and it's really like a lot of influences that come together. So yeah, I'm very happy to be in that position, that people really care of what I'm doing. I actually have a Discord group now that since a year or something, I put up a Discord server where people talk mostly about basses. Okay. And this already made me, this group made me change my perspective on social media a little bit, because I don't know how it is in Mexico, but in Germany, if people talk about social media, it's mostly they talk about hate comments, about the negativity of people, that everybody blabbers out an opinion.
Unfortunately, it is a reality.
Yeah, but so I was like really concerned about the Discord server, like, oh god, people will probably only hate different bands and discuss what sucks more than the other, or technique topics. And it's straight through, it's like 99% positivity. It's people loving music, sharing music, talking about basses. It's lovely. Yeah. So I was really blown away by this, and the same happens with the reaction now with my solo record. I didn't read negative comments. It just doesn't happen. Maybe people are afraid that, I don't know, they know that I will read it directly myself. And of course that I think scares people off. Like, nobody wants to say something negative into your face. But yeah, it's all positive comments, and I was very surprised, even with Obsidious, my other band, when we started making Obscura kind of music with a clean singer. Of course we pissed some people off, and we knew it, and we liked that controversy actually. But on my solo record, no negative comments. It's amazing, and people react to it and ask questions, and I love to answer the questions. And I have a contest running on my website where if you pre-order the album on my website, you have the chance to win a Ibanez bass for free. And I think that also, yes, and I think that's yeah, Ibanez has been another great supporter. I'm surrounded with great people like you guys. With the lyric video, Ibanez is supporting me with a free bass. It's really great to feel so much support, and seeing now that, like, okay, all the work and thoughts, like I have a group of people that support me, and people actually care. It's a great feeling, and very motivating to move on with music and to make more. And yeah, it's really, yeah, it's amazing.
Well, man, talking of part of Metal Index, when we can, the possibility to collaborate with you, man, for me, is a great honor. You know, I admire you, the great music, the great music that you make, that you obviously you play. When I create a lot of bands that we love, for me, it's an honor. It's a great honor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You can to count with me when you need it, man. You know.
Same, likewise.
Yeah. And obviously the people maybe want to hear your album Tulpa live. Will be a possibility to get a band together, you know, to play this album in the future?
Oh, I'm sure I have so many excellent people around me that I don't think it would be a big problem to find a good lineup to perform the songs, but it's so hard right now to I don't know, build up a working live band and not to invest money to play live shows. So I don't see it happening, but of course I would love that, of course. Yeah, but I mean, I made this record and I love the music, but it doesn't mean that that I don't love my bands. And I'm so play live with Obsidious, with Alkaloid. I have a show coming up. I play with Beyond the Black as a session bassist, with The Spirit as a session bassist. Yeah, so I really play. I play with Dark Fortress even as a keyboardist. So there are often like different opportunities where I can jump in and play bass and have a lot of live shows. So I don't feel like the deficit of okay, I need to have. Need to bring this on stage because I don't know, I have been in my in front of my computer all the time. That it's not a topic right now. I'm just happy that I had this I don't know, creative outputs with this record. That was the most important part for me, that I enjoyed so much that I don't need to write. I love to write in a group. I love to be around the people that I make music with. Yesterday, I actually been to the 50th birthday of Morian, the singer of Alkaloid. Hannes was there. It makes me happy. I just smile for half an hour when I arrive because it's this group of people is just wonderful. And but of course, every time you write a song in a group, you need to make compromises. You need to fight for parts. In the end, it's never 100% like you want it. And that's of course the benefit of a solo project. So nothing won't sound like a compromise because that's exactly what I had in mind. And I worked it out to a certain point that it's really like the end result is not far away from what I had in my mind. And that was a good feeling. And it gives you also, I don't know, it's this, as a musician, you love to have how do you call it? To be in the flow and to have like ecstasy moments where you're like you're working, you're playing on stage and you feel the vibe of the crowd. And that's also why I love to go to concerts, and everybody likes to go to concerts because it transports you to another world. And when I sit at home and I compose, I have that feeling too. So I write. I have something that inspires me, maybe one riff or the lyrical idea. And then that gives me an idea, and I sit down and work that idea out, and I have, I don't know, sit there 3 hours working on one idea, and suddenly this little idea becomes it gets to a bigger picture, and it grows and it grows and it grows, and yeah, just being in my own world and there's nothing around was a very enjoyable process for me. I really like that.
Excellent, bro. Excellent. Bueno, de verdad, súper contento. I feel very happy, man, for you right here, your stay right here in Metal Index. Really, man, thanks for this opportunity. Really, I feel really happy, man. Really glad. If you have a few words for all the people that watching you right now in Spain, in Latin America. What do you like to say to all the people?
Yeah, I'm sorry I still can talk Spanish. Maybe that's really the challenge for our next talk. I love Latin America and the Spanish talking community everywhere. It's yeah, I would love to come to Mexico also again as well at some point. It's been a while for me. I've been there 2 times, I think, and it was wonderful. Yeah, if you want to catch me live somewhere, I have a tour in Australia and New Zealand coming up in November with Beyond the Black, and we have a European tour in March, April next year. There are some things lining up with Alkaloid, so follow my newsletter if you're interested in my bands. I will keep you updated about those kind of topics. Yeah, and yeah, Latin America would be great to visit again. Yeah. Until then, I can just tell you, please listen to my music. It would be great if you like it. I'm really proud of the record, and I think it is something unique standing on its own. So I hope you would feel the same. So yeah, would be a pleasure if you would listen. And thank you so much for listening to this interview and this monologue of this German monologue, long monologues that I do here as a German metal bass player, which is not.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
And I think the same, like my partner Washington, man. You are one of the most important bass players of the world, and well, I want to to give to you all my good vibes. Okay, I think and I feel so sure that this album Tulpa will be a great successful for you, and well, man, good luck, man.
Yeah, and with the lyric video and this interview, you're a part of it, so thank you so much for that. And
no, thank you.
And don't let this be the last interview in English. You're doing great.
Oh man, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know that I feel that I say wrong words in the same part in some parts, but well, I need to practice more, well, thank you, man. Thank you for this opportunity, really.
No, thank you.
Bueno, amigos, y bueno, ¿qué nos dicen ustedes? ¿Qué les ha parecido esta entrevista? ¿Qué les ha parecido esta siendo mi primera entrevista en inglés? Bueno, allí seguiremos practicando, seguiremos mejorando, pero de verdad gracias por estar aquí, por tomarse un tiempo de ver esta gran entrevista. Y recuerden, si es la primera vez que están viendo contenido de Metal Index, no olviden suscribirse para que no se pierdan absolutamente nada. Linus, bro, thank you so much, bro.
Thank you so much.
See you then, bro. Thank you.
Bye.
Hasta luego, amigos.